Hi guys, welcome to this video. So today I'm super excited to be talking to you about the RODECaster Pro and why it can be a great tool for radio stations. So the RODECaster Pro is a podcast production studio made mainly to help you create your own podcasts, but as we're going to see today, you can also use it for your radio station. So now let's take a look at the inputs and outputs of the RODECaster Pro. As you can see, there are 4 mic XLR inputs with phantom power at 48 volts. There's also a jack input so you can plug in your phone, 4 headphone outputs, 2 stereo speaker outputs, 1 micro SD port for recording, 1 USB input for sound from your computer and an output to broadcast sound from the RODECaster itself, and the power button. Okay, so now let's take a look at the actual interface of the RODECaster Pro. So as you can see here, we have a high resolution screen, which we'll get back to later on. Over here, you can see a recording button that will allow you to record your audio directly onto the micro SD card. In the top right hand corner, you have all of your feedback buttons, so for headphones and for the main output. So here, as you can see, we have our 4 microphones, a USB input, phone input, Bluetooth, and here you can manage the volume of your pads. These buttons at the bottom of each output will allow you to either mute or to pre-listen to your content. For example, if I'm broadcasting live with someone and we want to talk off air, so I'm simply going to push this button to mute my guests from actually broadcasting live on air, and I'm going to activate this button so that we can actually talk to each other and hear each other without that being broadcast. Right, so now let's take a look at that high resolution screen that I mentioned earlier. So you'll see that there are loads of different settings that you can play around with, but I'm going to show you the main ones for your actual audio outputs. So for example, I'm currently broadcasting on channel 1. So I'm going to head over to settings, channels, and I'm going to select channel 1. Bear in mind that there's also a handy little shortcut. If you just press on number 1, it also brings us directly to the settings of that channel. So if we take a look here and I click on microphone, you can see that you can actually pre-select a microphone if you want to. Then you can play around with the audio levels as well, and if you want to activate the phantom power, you can do so here. You'll also find some audio processing features, so compression, high filter passes, etc. And finally, if you click on voice and head over to tone, for example, you can choose the option that best describes your voice, so whether it's deep, medium, or high. You can also toggle around with the voice strength if you want to. So as I mentioned earlier, there's also 8 configurable pads that actually have 3 layers to them, which gives you 24 different sounds in total. So what you can do is you can either set them up directly via the RODECaster. So if we click on music here, you can see 1, 2, 3, or you can download the app directly onto your computer to set up and configure your pads from there. Another great thing about the pads is that you can actually record directly via the RODECaster Pro to create your sounds. So either record directly via your mic, for example, so let's click here, record, or you can use sound that's coming in from your computer, for example, and record that directly as well. So pads are going to be super useful for your radio station if you want to include your jingles, ads, or even add sound effects such as laughter or clapping in the background. If you want more information about the features that are available on the RODECaster Pro, head over to the Rode website directly. They have loads of tutorials that will help you figure it all out. So as I said, the RODECaster Pro is a podcast production studio. So you may be asking, why am I talking about radio stations? Well, this could actually be a great ally for radio hosts and DJs. First of all, it's super simple to use. The interface is completely intuitive, and with all the bright colors, let's face it, it's super fun to look at. So the RODECaster Pro is a great tool for anyone who wants to broadcast live, whether it's by yourself or with multiple guests. So as we've seen, there are 4 microphone inputs here. And for example, if you wanted to broadcast one of your listeners live on air, you can have them call in and then just simply plug in your phone via the jack at the back. Don't forget, there's also a Bluetooth input. So all you have to do is click on the button, and you'll see here that you can directly connect any of your devices, so phone, tablet, computer, etc. So you also have the pads here, which I talked about earlier, which are going to be great for inserting your jingles or any sound effects that you might want to add into your live show. You can also record directly, like I mentioned before, which is super practical. You'll be able to easily rebroadcast your live sessions later on. So, as you can probably tell, here at Radio King, we love the RODECaster Pro. It's a simple and intuitive tool that's a pleasure to use. If you've had the chance to use the RODECaster Pro yourself, let us know what you think in the comments below. We're thinking about making a few more videos about the RODECaster Pro, so if you're interested, don't hesitate to let us know what you'd like to see in the comments below. See you soon for a new video. Bye.